Hola, muy buenos días. Estamos aquí de Ruta Rock entrevistando a Domenic Palermo de Nothing a horas previas de su debut en Chile. Hi Domenic, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm good. Really excited about the show, really.
Yeah, thank you for
So, yeah, how has been this Latin American tour so far?
having me. Pretty insane, honestly. It's been a while that we've trying to come down here, so there's a lot of excitement to finally make it through over 10 years of trying to get down here. So, shows have been great. It's nice to meet people. Try to meet everyone after the show, and it's been really satisfying. We do a lot of touring, and sometimes it feels like work. This doesn't feel like work at all. It feels like a vacation, kind of. So yeah, everything's going good so far.
Cool. Did you ever think your music will make you travel to these places?
No, not at all. When I started this project, it was in a basement in Philadelphia with a computer by myself, and things progressed, and it's still to this day, we end up in new places, and it's like, I don't like to say like that I feel blessed because it's such a cliche thing to say now, but I really do feel blessed because I feel like sometimes you know in life, like, you're not supposed to be in certain places. Like, I feel like an imposter sometimes. Like, I played a trick on the world to get out here because I just didn't foresee it in my future. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me.
So far, you only have these dates in this year. So, what else can we expect of Nothing this year, 2023?
Mostly it was based around this. I just needed to get this done this year. We toured so extensively after COVID. I kind of ran everyone in the band into the ground because I was playing catch up, for missed time. So we toured so much last year. So this year was supposed to be a year off, but I seen an opportunity for this, and I said, I had to beg everybody in the band. I was like, please, one more tour. And everyone's really happy. So I think for the rest of the year, it's going to be, we have a couple festivals in America towards the end of the year. But we're just going to take it easy and relax for once.
And speaking about tours, I want to talk one of my favorite bands of all time, Boris. How was touring with them?
They are the most beautiful people you could ever meet. It was very intimidating for me because they're also one of my favorite bands of all time. I steal ideas from them. That's the first thing I said to them when I met them. I was like, I steal so much from you, But yeah, they're great people, and for being a band that's been around for so long, they're caring with younger bands and stuff. Even though I don't feel like a young band, but comparatively to them, the tour we did was a 40-year tour anniversary. 40 or 30, maybe 30. I think it was 30.
Yeah, I think they are from the 90s.
But yeah, I mean, they just were so kind and caring. And within the first 3 shows, they asked me and Doyle to like play some songs with them at the end of their set. So it's just like one of those scenarios, like, how the hell did I end up doing this type thing? So yeah.
How were your ears after every Boris show?
Oh, we're still louder than Boris.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're the loudest.
Whoa. We'll see it later. Well, I haven't seen Boris, but I sure know you are louder than.
There was a competition a lot of the time. They're big orange cabinet guys.
Yeah.
They have giant wall, but we do in the States. I made a wall of twin reverbs. Whoa. So
Well,
That's like me. That's my one concern is that I am the loudest person in the room.
yeah, and speaking about noise and loud sounds, when I think of shoegaze nowadays, you are one of the first bands that comes up to my head quickly. So I want to know, how do you see this musical style? And nowadays that now I think now that we have a lot of bands around the world shoegaze. But what do you think?
Oh, it's crazy. You know, through the early 2000s, it was a music that was really important to me. I started in the, you know, to discover the older bands from the 90s, you know, and fell in love with the sound. And, you know, there was bands currently playing during that time that were kind of, no one really cared about, but for me they were really important, you know, like Place to Bury Strangers and Ringo Death Star and Asobi Sexu, like lots of bands in that time, and they were really way ahead of their time. And I idolized those bands and wanted to develop my own sound to try that. So around 2010 is when we came out, and you know, it was still relatively like ignored, you know, the sound and the scene, and a lot of people say we helped revitalize it and kind of change it a bit, and it's kind of hard for me to hear that and to understand it, but I'm just happy that it's still like moving along, and now there's, you know, so many young bands now like that are coming around that like look to us like as like the old heads, you know, which is weird to me, but they're better than us. Like they're doing it's being like reinvented again, and I love to see this, you know. So I'm actually working on a festival in Philadelphia, hopefully for next year, a 3-day festival with like a range of ambient, dream pop, shoegaze festival. And you're probably the first person that I've told about it. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. For pretty much bands spanning from the 90s to the current, basically. Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck of that festival.
Maybe we'll do one here.
Whoa, maybe one day, or maybe I can travel there and see the festival. So, yeah, I assume you are familiar with the film director Greg Araki, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, if Greg Araki, let's say hypothetically, he was going to make a movie, what would be your reaction if you were on the soundtrack of Greg Araki's movie?
It's funny. We are like, I'm almost more into film than music, so I feel like that's why I'm always trying to create this like climatic experiences in the songs. Sometimes it's like excessive to the point where I think I ruin some of my songs by trying to make it like that sometimes. But when we're writing, it's like very important for me to visualize like sceneries when I do things. I just can't not do it, you know. And it's heavily lyrical based as well, so it's like, you know, I always envision like songs that I'm writing in scenes of films that I love, you know. So I mean, if I ever could hear my music in one of his films, you know, that's beyond blowing my mind to think about. So I hope I answered the question. I don't even remember what it was now.
No, yeah, you answered the question. You're right. So, yeah, I made myself a little spoiler about the show and saw that you had like these visuals of Persona by Ingmar Bergman. So, do you have any more films you would like to show on your shows?
I wish. I mean, my friends, Mike and Tyler, they run a little company. It's like a podcast, but they also do visual stuff. It's called Everything is Stories, and you can find it on Instagram and stuff, but they're really talented, and they helped me cut that together, and it was a mixture of like found footage and Bergman and some other film stuff, and we kind of just melted some stuff together to kind of just have as a background. makes it easier to not have to stare at me. You know, it's like, here, look at this, don't look at me, you know. But it's nice. We always have it available with us, but it depends on if there's a screen or not, because we don't always have it. So they had that at the venue we played in Sao Paulo, so I was like, throw it up there. So if they have a screen, which they do at Chocolate, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been to the Chocolate.
Well, if there's a screen, it'll be there. If not, you'll have to just look at us. So.
All right. So, yeah, to finish this interview, one of the things I most love about your band is the thing you have with merch. I mean, the merch is so fucking amazing, man. Really, and all the vinyl stuff you do, I collect vinyl, so you run limited editions of every vinyl, so it's all so smooth and fucking beautiful, man. Really. So, where does that idea come from? From giving these things to the fans that are super special. I mean, for me, it's super special, your merch and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this project for me has always been about creating to kind of get out of my own head a little bit, you know. It's been like therapeutic for me. So that's why I handle everything from like the music to the, you know, the lyrics to the visual to everything, you know. So like it's I know that people care about what this project is, so I know that there's a high bar for myself to keep. Like, people deserve it. I feel like they're with me while I'm moving along this journey, and we're kind of like a unit. So things are really important for me to keep things special, and it's tough because sometimes you just run out of shit, you know. But like everything is an inspiration always, you know. Like, so it's, you know, there's always room to find it. You just have to find a way to pull it out of what you're dealing with, and we'll see if it starts to suck soon, but, you know, we just...
No, I don't think it will ever suck.
Maybe.
No.
We'll see.
So, bueno, aquí estuvimos con Domenic Palermo de Nothing. Se va a presentar hoy día en el Club Chocolate a las 9 de la noche. Es un debut imperdible para los fanáticos del shoegaze. Thank you, Domenic.
Adiós.
Nos vemos.